Welcome to the Guthrie America podcast. We sit down with amazing people who do life in our community and who are from here because I believe every story should be told. I'm your host, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Hetty Coleman, and today I am sitting down with Diane Vaughan. Do you call yourself Dr. Diane Vaughan? My father's an attorney. I didn't never know that attorneys were considered doctors.
We are, but no, I don't call myself doctor.
Okay. All right. Do you, Judge Vaughan, is that what they call you in the?
They do call me Judge Vaughan in the courthouse.
In the courthouse. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am sitting down here with the one and only Diane Vaughan, and I'm so grateful. But before we jump into this conversation with Diane, will you please go ahead and subscribe to the podcast and leave a review? It would mean the world to me. Also, shout out to North Church Guthrie for letting us host this episode in their building, and also shout out to our sponsor 5+2 Leadership and Entrepreneurship after school program. We are grateful to be able to invest in 8th grade boys and try our best to stay with them through college in a mentor capacity. So shout out to 5+2. Diane, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I am doing good.
Getting some rain today.
I know. I love it.
Yeah.
I know. It makes it feel really good. And then I have this friend who is a roofer. And the other day he says to me, Hetty, I don't mean this in a bad way, but I'm so excited that there's potential for hell. I was like, oh my God, that sounds so. He's like, listen, I don't want any major damage. I just need some roof damage. That's what he said. He said, and I'm going to take good care of the people. And so I was like, oh my goodness. So you're the reason it helped. And this morning it held a little bit.
Job security.
Yeah. So I texted him and I said, bro, your prayers are being answered. There's a little bit of hell. He's like, are you in Guthrie? I'll be out there tomorrow if it becomes golf ball size. But I don't think it's going to be that.
I don't think we've had that yet. I think this morning we had a little bit of pea-sized hail, but
it was nothing. It was nothing big at all. Nothing big. Do you like the rain? Like, would you rather have rain or sunshine?
Oh, that's tough because I find the joy in both of those. Yeah. I'm not certain I could pick between the two.
Like, just not too much of either.
Right.
Like, just a good balance of it. Not too much rain, but definitely love some rain sometimes. Especially if I have nothing to do, where you can just chill and be in the house and just drink some coffee or be on the porch.
The windows. Yes.
It's one of the perfect kind of days. I'm always curious, how would you think your family would describe you if they were sitting over there?
I think they'd probably use the term momager, the mom manager.
Momager, okay.
The momager.
Uh-huh.
I'm the keeper of our family's calendar, where we have to be, what we have to do, who we have to see. I mean, we are a very active family.
Yeah.
And if somebody's not keeping track of where everybody has to be and what everybody has to do, I'm not certain that we'd all get to where we're supposed to be, do what we're supposed to do. So, but I'm also sort of, I think, probably the nurturer in our family. And, I come home from work and I cook meals and I do meal preps and I get their lunches ready and, just do what moms do.
Do what moms do. Yeah, that's awesome. How many children? Two.
Mary and Maddox.
And one still in school, one out of school.
Mary graduated from Guthrie last year.
Yes. Tell me, I mean, she hadn't been out very long, but I have found it very interesting, like, now being the parent of an adult child. Like, sometimes I think, like, when they were little, like, this is the hardest. And then when they were in middle school, I was like, this is the hardest. Then they get in high school, it's hard. Now I'm like, wait a second. This adult parenting
is hard.
It's hard because you got to learn to take off the pedal. Like, they're their own people now, letting them make their own decisions.
I've got the perfect
How's that been for you?
Example to tell you of how I've had to take a step back.
Tell me.
So Mary knew when she was still in high school that she did not want to go to college.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of conversations with both of our children about what life is going to look like for them outside of high school. And so we've always told both of our children that college is not required, but a plan is. Mm-hmm. And so I told her, if you don't want to go to college, you need to start thinking about what it is you want to do. Well, after she graduated, she decided that she wanted to go to a dog grooming school. And so she found the school that she wanted to go to. My husband, Scott, took her down to the city and they toured a couple different places. She picked the one that she wanted and she excelled. She did so fantastic at that trade school. And now she's working for the Davisons over at Cedar Canyon. And so she has a regular Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 job.
Yeah.
But she's also 19 years old. Yeah. And so I don't necessarily have a curfew for her.
Uh-huh.
But I want her to come home in enough time to get your laundry done, get ready for work the next day, get some sleep. And so it was about 11 o'clock and she still hadn't come home. And so I started texting and I said, you need to come home. You have work tomorrow. Yeah. And then I nearly immediately got a call back and she said, Mom, I am 19. I have a job. I know my responsibilities. I'm already on my way. And I was like, okay, sister. Okay. I'll step back. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
But just, being a parent, you never stop thinking about your children and what they're doing and making sure that they're making good choices. And, I just wanted to raise my children to be good adults.
Yeah.
And watching this unfold and seeing that they are good people.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah. It's a blessing.
We did it. We did it.
Yeah. No, that's a great example of, like, because 2 of my children still live in my home, and I just always got. So I don't say you need to get home. I just be like, I'm just checking in on you, making sure. Actually, my brother-in-law, while his house is being renovated, is living with us as well, and so I even find myself like, if he comes on through, I'm like, hey man, where you at? Like, as though he's not a grown man. He's like a year younger than me. No, wait, we're the same age, actually, same age. And so it's really difficult. But at the same time, it's just because we care for them, And so, talk to me about where you're from.
So I grew up actually in East Tennessee.
Okay.
Outside of Knoxville. I grew up in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. So, and my whole family is still there.
Okay.
Except my brother. He lives in North Carolina now. But as a matter of fact, my family were settlers in that region. And my dad's home is only a mile away from where my 6th great-grandfather is buried.
Oh, wow.
He served in the Revolutionary War under John Sevier.
Oh, wow. That is. And did you graduate? You graduated everything from
there.
Okay.
Carter High School.
Carter High
place
School.
My parents and my grandparents graduated from.
What's the, like, in Guthrie, Oklahoma versus Tennessee? Like, what are some things that we probably don't think of that is different?
The lay of the land.
Okay.
Because I grew up in the mountains.
Okay.
I'll tell you a funny story about that. So when I got married, moved to Oklahoma, I really missed the mountains. And so Scott said, well, Oklahoma has some mountains. I'll drive you down. I'll show you some of the mountains we have. And he took me down to the Lawton area and showed me Mount Scott. And I said, well, that's just a hill of rocks.
That is hilarious. Now, had he been to Tennessee?
Yeah.
That is funny. I remember one time, Mom, I don't know if you remember this. My mom and I, we drove to Virginia to see my cousin, what would you call it, graduate out of boot camp. Mm-hmm. And when we were driving back, like, the weather got so bad. It was like freezing up. It was the first time I think I ever seen like the rain free because it was so cold. But we had to go through some of these mountains, and my heart, it was one of the scary. Do you remember that, Mom? It was one of the scariest times ever in my life. But I also lived in Tennessee for a little while. I lived in Columbia, Tennessee.
Okay.
And so for about a year, actually, and it was really good. I like Tennessee.
Oh, it's beautiful. I make it a point. I take my children back to Tennessee 2 or 3 times a year, every year, so that they see the other side of their family,
Yep.
and they see the places that I grew up going to.
Yeah.
That's been really important to me. And so now, they feel at home in Tennessee just as much as they do here.
Yeah. No, that's good. Yeah, Tennessee is a beautiful. I tell people all the time, like, Nashville's a great city, and
So fun.
yeah, it is a really
much
cool
to
place. Now, you mentioned Scott.
Yeah.
Tell me how you and Scott met.
So we were both serving in the military. He was in the Oklahoma Air National Guard. I was in the Tennessee Air National Guard.
Okay.
And we were both serving overseas, and we met. And it was a really unique dynamic because we were at a deployed location, and there's very strict rules there and not a lot to do because you can't leave the base without certain permissions. And so on base there was a chapel, a movie theater, a little recreation area, and it was like the way that people used to just kind of court and like meet in these locations and hang out for a little while, but then you got to go to your separate places, and so it was a really unique way to meet somebody. But we met, and we were there for nearly 5 months, I think. And I'll never forget when I came home. I came home from that deployment a little bit before he did, and my mother and my brother and I were on a vacation in Niagara Falls, and I got a phone call from this sweet little voice, and she said, "You don't know me, but I'm Scott's mother, and he's coming home next week, and the only thing he's talked about this whole time he's been gone is this girl he met from Tennessee that he's going to marry." And she said, "We would love for you to come to Oklahoma and be here when he comes home." And I said, "I'd love to." And so I dropped my mom and my brother off, and I drove to Oklahoma. And
Are you serious?
Pretty much been here since.
Wow.
Yeah.
How cool is that? So was that how he asked you to marry through his mom? Like, did you just get her?
No.
Did you just show up and be like, "Yes, I'll marry. I'm here. I'm ready"?
So I came, and his family had this big reunion, for him to come home, and it was beautiful and lovely. And we went back to Tennessee, and he's a very traditional guy, and he asked my dad's permission to marry me. And I lived in a farmhouse that was in the middle of about 100 acres, and we were just camping out in the pasture, a bunch of my friends. We had a bonfire, we had tents set up, and he surprised me and proposed there.
Did you have a clue? Like, did you?
I did not know. We had actually, it was in October, and we had actually just spent the day like a corn maze or something like that. And then we were going to camp and have the bonfire and everything that night. And all of my friends knew, but I didn't know.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And
so where'd y'all end up getting married at?
In Tennessee.
Okay.
Yeah, in a little chapel in Townsend, Tennessee.
Okay. Was it hard for you to make that transition, to come to Oklahoma versus stay in Tennessee?
In the beginning, no. I mean, I was, we were just so in love, and we were ready to have a family, and we were ready to start a life.
Yeah.
And, that's what we did.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, my first job in Oklahoma, I was the restaurant manager for the Sheraton Hotel downtown Oklahoma City.
Oh, okay.
And we lived in a very small house down in the city. And we got married, and I found out I was pregnant. And I told him that I didn't want to live in the city, that I wanted to raise our kids outside of the city.
Yeah.
And he had started working at the Logan County Health Department, but I hadn't been to Guthrie yet.
Okay.
And he had made a comment about, "I think you'd really like Guthrie. Why don't you come up and have lunch with me?" And
what year was this?
Oh gosh, 2006 is when he started working at the health department.
Okay, so somewhere around that time. Okay,
somewhere around that time. And So I came up here and he drove me around town. We had lunch. I fell in love, and this was it. We decided this is where we wanted to raise our family.
That's really cool. Do you remember where y'all went to eat at? Did y'all go eat, or did y'all just drive around?
I'm trying to remember. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I feel like I want to say it was Katie's.
Okay. I was thinking Stables, maybe Katie.
I think it was Katie's.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't remember that day. But I remember, after we moved here, Katie's became a staple for our family, because when I was in law school, on Saturday morning, Mary and Maddox were only 1 and 2 years old when I started law school.
Okay.
And on Saturday mornings, Scott would get the kids up, get them dressed, and take them to Katie's for breakfast every Saturday, so that I had a chance to sleep in and just have some time. And so Katie's is a special place for us.
Yeah. Because at this time, you're like working, law school, and mother, military. And wife, and military?
Yes.
Wow. Because when did you officially retire?
Officially retired July of 21.
Oh, okay. So you were like practicing and still being in the military at the same time. So
all of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was a lot of juggling.
It was a lot. It was a lot. I'll tell you a funny story that one of my commanders told me, because I was in the National Guard. I had a full-time job, and I'm a wife and a mother.
Yeah.
So I have family obligations.
Yeah.
And my commander told me that it's like sitting on and balancing a 3-legged stool, with one leg being your commander, one leg being your civilian boss, and one leg being your family. And you're trying to find that balance of all three of them. And my commander said, you found that balance when all three of them are equally mad at you.
That's good. That's really good. Okay, let's go back. Okay, you're a kid in Tennessee. What were you like as a kid? Tell me about schooling in Tennessee, and then kind of your decision on what's next after high school. Just give me that quick run view so we can get a glimpse of that.
So I had a great childhood in Tennessee. We didn't have a lot, but we had nature. And so we grew up playing in the woods, the creeks, the streams, building forts out of old sheet metal from a pig pen at my papa's house, and, playing hide and seek in and around the barn, jumping out of the hayloft. It was a really, really great childhood, and I had about 10 cousins that we were all just outside together. Now, as an adult, I know that was just, grandma saying, get out of the house.
Yeah.
But back then, the world was our playground, and it was pretty great. And, but my mother was in the Tennessee Air National Guard.
Oh, okay.
And my father had served in the Navy. My grandfathers were in the Army, and that's just part of our family legacy is military service. And I knew when I was young that I wanted to wear that uniform. And so when I turned 18, there was not even a question about it. One of my mother's best friends was the recruiter. Her name is Carol Byerly, at the 134th Air Refueling Wing in Knoxville, Tennessee. And I turned 18, and I went and enlisted and went off to boot camp in October.
Oh, wow. So you didn't even go to college?
I did.
Later?
Later.
Yes,
so,
yeah.
So that first year outside of high school, I graduated May of 2000, went to boot camp October of 2000. Then I had my first tech school in the spring of 2001, and then I started college in the fall of 2001.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
Wow. And so what was boot camp like? Is it as crazy as people try to make it out to be, or is it's not as bad as...
Oh, wow. That was 26 years ago.
I don't know if I remember what it was like.
It was a lot of running, a lot of marching, a lot of schoolwork. We had classwork.
Yeah.
You have to learn the history of the United States. You have to learn your military culture and take tests over those things.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was 18 and physically fit and not a care in the world. So for me, boot camp wasn't difficult.
Yeah.
Now, if I had to go back now, I don't think I'd make it.
And plus, you were an outdoors person. Like, you were probably, it was probably like, this is what I do kind of thing. Where did you decide to go to school at? And what was college, and what did you decide to major in? And how did you decide that?
I started off at Pellissippi State Technical Community College.
Okay.
And I was using my GI Bill to go. And I did not know what I wanted to do. I just knew that, well, my parents had always encouraged me to go to college at whatever level that looks like. And I didn't want to go to a bigger university. Number one, the cost, but also because I didn't know what I wanted to do. Mm. And so I was just majoring, I think, in some kind of management or something like that. And it took me a long time to get my bachelor's degree. I graduated with my bachelor's degree in May of 2009, and I started in fall of 2001 because I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Had a few change in majors in there. And in the interim, I had met Scott and moved to Oklahoma. And I knew that the University of Oklahoma had a really good program that was designed to sort of encourage veterans to finish their bachelor's degree. Mm. And so that's what I did. I finished my bachelor's degree at University of Oklahoma through an online program that they had. And at the same time I was doing that, I was working full-time as an office manager for an irrigation company in Edmond called Quality Irrigation. And the owners of that company, David and Tara Reed, they were so great. I could not have asked for better employers at that time in my life because I was newly married. I was a new mom, trying to finish my degree, trying to earn an income for the family, still in the military, and they let me bring my children to work with me.
Oh, okay.
Which was huge.
Yeah.
But it was also that same time that, when I graduated with my bachelor's degree, I felt like I wanted a trade. I wanted to know that if I ever had to work for myself, I would have the skills or the tools and be able to do that. Mm-hmm. I even considered being an electrician, being a plumber. I just wanted to know that I could always support myself and my family if I ever needed to. Mm-hmm. And so one day I just did a Google search and I thought, well, I wonder about law school. And I Googled, I said, are there any law schools in Oklahoma? Because I didn't even know.
That's great.
And there are 3, come to find out.
Wait, Oklahoma City, OU, and Tulsa?
And Tulsa.
Okay. Yeah.
And we already lived in Guthrie. We bought a house over by Guthrie Lake. And I knew there was no way we were going to uproot, that we were here to stay. Uh-huh. And Oklahoma City University was the only one commuting distance for me. And so it was the only law school that I applied to. And I got in. And so that's what we did. It was never really this burning desire to be an attorney so much. It was to know that if I needed to work for myself, I could do it.
That is, yeah. Sometimes you wonder how people got to where they were at. And I Google searched just looking for something to be able to take care of my family. And had you ever been interested in law? Did you know any attorneys?
No.
Okay. Mm-mm. So once you got into it, and I don't even know if you had any expectations or what you thought it was going to be like, was it anything like you thought it would be?
I was just going with the flow. I had that first year, I had no idea what I was doing. No clue. I didn't even know that it was important to have a certain GPA because they would rank us. Okay. And I didn't know that your law school ranking was important that first year. And
why is it important?
It's so once you graduate, your entire class is ranked, and being in the top 10% of the class is a very marketable thing when you want to go work for, one of these larger firms, or go work for a government agency or anything like that. They look at those things. And that starts year one. If you start off at the bottom, you're clawing your way to get back up to the top. Yeah. But I was very, very fortunate. That very first year, I met the best group of friends I could ever have. And because when I went to law school, I was a little bit older than some of the others that were there. A lot of the students there are straight out of the pipeline of bachelor degree straight into law school. And so they are 22, 23 years old. Well, I was 25 or 26 and married with children. And I met a group of girls who were also just a couple years older than the rest of them. And there's 5 of us in the group, and the rest of the class nicknamed us the Bridge Club because we were a whole 4 years older than them.
Y'all were the grandmas.
We were the grandmas.
That is hilarious. But that community, though, helped move you through.
Moved me through. Having them with me through that process, because at the time I was the only one that had kids. And, they just, we wrapped our arms around each other, but more so them around me. And helped carry me through, because I'll give you an example. I was potty training Mary that first year, and we had these study sessions that were voluntary, but the professor would open the classroom up and go over notes and answer questions in advance of the final. And I needed to go, but I had to take Mary with me. And so we're sitting in the classroom, and Mary she's going to kill me for telling the story. She kept leaning over and she kept saying, I got to go potty. It's because she had realized that I would jump up and we would leave the room because she was tired of sitting there. She didn't want to sit there, So after, the third or fourth time that we had to pop up and go, my friend Barbara just leaned over and she goes, I'll send you my notes. Just go. So we left. But, it's things like that. Just making sure that I had what I needed to take the finals and to graduate. And, it was a lot of work at home, reading late at night after the kids are already in bed, because you can't do it during the day. There's too much going on. And so fortunately for me, I was in my 20s, and you can recover from an all-nighter of reading and studying, Were you in law school full time, or was it a part time? I was there full time.
Wow. So were you still working?
I was working part time. I interned for Judge Lumpkin on the Court of Criminal Appeals. But that was a part-time job, my second into my third year. And then the last semester, I worked part-time here at the Logan County District Attorney's Office as a licensed legal intern. Tom Lee was the district attorney then. And so, but I was also still in the military. And also, Scott deployed twice while I was
during
in
that
law
time.
School. To Iraq. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So you probably could write a whole book on how to manage life while in school, being a mom, being married, while husband's deployed. Like, you probably have some real tips you can give.
The title of the book would be Coffee.
That would be a great title. People love coffee now. And then, being a mom, a superhero in the way that you had to navigate all that is really that's crazy. What's some of your favorite things, talking about Scott, what's some of your favorite things about Scott? He seems so chill.
Oh, he is.
I haven't spent a whole bunch of time with him, but like when I see him, he just seems so like nothing's bothering me.
And he is so funny. So funny. And that's what clicked for me in the beginning, because, he can make anybody laugh. And I love that so much about him. his mother nicknamed him Peter Pan because she said he'd never grow up. So
Peter Pan, do y'all still call him that? Does anybody still call him? Oh, she still. That's really good. Like having a husband, wife both in the military, in the way that, like, what is that experience like? Is there something like just different about life for you all than what you would for people who traditionally are not in the military?
We have to have a community. There's no way that we could have done it without a community. My mother-in-law, she sacrificed a lot of her time to make sure that Mary Maddox were taken care of on the times that we both had to be away.
Okay.
And my friends in the community, there was a lot of times that I had to call on one of my best friends, Kelly Herzl, and I'd send a text. I cannot get to Maddox to where he needs to be. And usually Maddox had to be at the same place that Kellen had to be. Yeah. And so, they just bring Maddox together. Along. Yeah. And so I don't see how we could have done it without family and community. It wouldn't have been possible. Yeah. One of us would have had to have gotten out sooner. But fortunately, I was able to get to nearly 21 years, and so I've officially retired. Scott is still serving. This year will be 26 years for him.
20. Thank y'all both for serving our country and what you've done. So that's wow. Talking about moving into a community and finding a best friend. Like, you're not from here. Kelly's from, like,
Kelly's
we graduated together, and so, but how do you end up connecting? What if somebody's new coming into a community? What would be some ways that you would say this is the best way to integrate yourself into the community and get connected with people and build friendships?
Be involved. I mean, Guthrie is such a big, small town. It's, there's so much to do here if you're looking for things to do.
Yeah.
And for us, it started off with Scott working at the health department, getting to know his coworkers. Yeah. And Justin Fortney worked at the health department at the time, and they had almost like, an old school partner's desk where you stare at each other.
Like detectives, like on the movies. Yeah.
And their desks literally faced each other. So for all these years, Scott and Justin were just, looking at each other across the desks. And so Justin and Amanda were really good friends of ours and still are. Yeah. And then when the kids got a little bit older, they started school. Maddox wanted to play football, and that's how I got to know Kelly. And so Maddox and Kellen and that whole group of boys that's in the senior class this year, Jace and Reed, I mean, so many of them grew up together, and it started on the football field when they were in first grade. And a lot of my friends are the parents of my children's friends,
Yeah. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Like, our kids started connecting us to people quicker than what we probably would if we were without children, and so that is really cool. All right. So I got a segment here, and this is called Either Or, and you can pick either one. Okay. Either or, and first thing we're going to do is kind of creative and entertainment section. Okay, books or movies?
Books.
Books. Do you have a favorite book?
Pride and Prejudice, Jane Austen.
Okay, Pride and Prejudice. Have you always been a reader? Are you not a reader? That's just your favorite book, but you're not a reader, but are you a reader? Which one are you?
I am a reader.
Okay.
And now that I'm older, I don't really have the brain capacity to read novels the way that I used to. And so now I like magazines. So Southern Living, Southern Lady. I subscribe to probably 4 Garden and Gun. I have 4 or 5 different magazine subscriptions, and I get so excited when they come in because I'll sit down, I read my magazine front to back, and then do it again. And so
I love magazine. One of our favorite date nights for Bernadette and I were to go to Starbucks at Barnes and Noble, and then we just walk Barnes and Noble. But I just hang out the magazines section, and so that's good. All right, Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
Marvel. Comedy or drama?
Oh. If I'm watching something by myself, I prefer drama. But if
Okay.
Scott and I are watching something together, we like comedies.
So y'all can laugh together?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good. Live concert or music festival?
I have to be honest. I'm not sure the last time I've
Been to either?
even been to either.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to answer that.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Live concert.
Live concert. Netflix binge or YouTube rabbit hole?
Oh gosh. Probably Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Netflix. This is kind of lifestyle and preferences, okay? Morning person or night owl?
Night owl, but not by choice, but because there's still things to do in the day before the day is done.
But you would prefer to go to bed and get...
I'd prefer it.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, last night I was up till like almost 2. I have a friend who works at Missy's, and he texts me good morning because I send these scriptures out to men every day. And so he goes to bed early. And I was still up, and I was like, what am I still doing up?
Why are you still up?
Why am I still? But the day got ended late, and now I'm just chilling and sitting there. And yeah, so I definitely get it. Coffee or tea?
I love both.
Oh, really?
These are really hard questions. This is not fair.
She said, I love both. Okay.
I love both. So I'm a coffee drinker in the morning, and I'm a decaf tea drinker at night.
Okay. All right. Is that just because you want something warm before bed or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've turned Mary and her boyfriend Tyler onto it as well. And so they'll go put the kettle on, and I'll make sure there's enough water in there for me too.
Tell both of them they're way too young, okay? But they're both old souls,
They
though.
are.
I feel like they're both old souls. Now, I think I know this one. City life or countryside?
Countryside.
Yeah, all day.
All day.
Beach vacation or mountain retreat?
Oh, that is also really tough. I grew up vacationing at the beach, but I grew up in the mountains.
Yeah.
I cannot pick between the two. I choose both.
Cooking at home or dining out?
Cooking at home.
Who's cooking?
Me.
Okay.
All day.
All day.
And I serve our family through the holidays, and I'm the one doing, the turkey and the ham and all the fixings. That is my love language. Service to my family, to prepare those kinds of meals. I love doing it. I love it.
I think my wife loves it too. Like, I mean, when she has to put together a meal, I'm like, you've been in this kitchen all day. And it's like, leading up to it is like a big old, like she's prepping. Yes, days before.
Process.
Yeah, like she's prepping for it and all the things. And then she'll say, you want to cook? I'm not cooking. Like, you just going to recook whatever I cook. So why would I won't even try that. Okay, this is more personal style. Casual comfort or dress up?
Casual.
Okay, casual. This is the question. So we're going to kind of go back into the work that you do now, right? So at some point you practice law, right? So you come out of law school. How quick did you start practicing law?
Immediately.
Okay. What was your first job?
I was a licensed legal intern here in Logan County DA's office under Tom Lee. Graduated, and then my first job out of law school was assistant general counsel for Department of Human Services. I did that for a year, worked for a lady named Bonnie Clift. And then Mr. Lee, the DA, he had an opening in the Payne County office for an assistant district attorney. And so I called him and asked for an interview, and he hired me. And so then I did that for a lot of years after. Yeah.
Okay. And then at some point you go into becoming a judge.
I
right?
did.
So how long you practiced law for? How long?
Let's see. I graduated law school in 2012, and I was in private practice. I was with DHS for a year, and then I was an assistant district attorney for Payne and Logan counties. And I'm trying to remember because for 1 year I went into private practice and with Tim Green in his law firm here in Guthrie. And then I went back to the DA's office for 2 more years. And then I left because I had the opportunity to go work for the United States Department of Agriculture in Stillwater, doing the disaster programs and helping farmers and ranchers apply for and receive government assistance when disasters hit. So if they had like a loss of their livestock, there are various programs that they can apply for.
Yeah.
And so I did that for 2 years, which wasn't necessarily a legal job, but I did do some of the administrative appellate work for the agency. Mm-hmm. So you didn't have to have a law degree to do that, but I was still working in that administrative law area. And in the middle of all of that, I was still in the National Guard, and we had done a mock deployment to Wisconsin with my military unit. And while I was there, the wing commander approached me when I was in the dining facility, and he said, "Somebody told me you're an attorney." And I said, "Yes, sir." And he said, "Well, why aren't you a JAG?" And I said, "I don't know. I've been working in the maintenance group for a long time at that point." And I just said, "I don't." And I had also transitioned over to be a paralegal in the law office there on base. I actually went to paralegal school while I was an attorney. And
how does that work?
I know. It's so many, and I'm trying to remember the exact timeline because, you know, there's a lot of years there that so he had said, "Okay, so let me get this straight. You were in law school and maintenance group, and then you're paralegal, but you're an attorney." And I said, "Yes."
He's trying to figure it all out.
Yeah. And he said, "Okay, well, I want you to be my next JAG." And I said, "Yes, sir." And so we filled out all the paperwork. It had to go. So the JAG Corps is unique inside of the Air Force because it's the only corps inside of the Air Force. So the JAG Corps is an actual corps. And so we have this whole other chain of command that we had to request approval for me to get my commission to become a JAG officer. And so we submitted all of that, and I was direct commissioned as a JAG officer. So I'm serving in that capacity, and I'm also working for the Department of Agriculture. And Judge Corley had an opening for a special judge in Payne County. And
this is when you're transitioning into judge.
To judge.
Yes.
And I'm taking the long road around to answer your question.
No, you're fine.
Because there's so many different.
As long as I just got to hold on to my question that's going to follow up, but I'm glad. Keep going.
And so I had all of this legal experience of being with DHS, working for the Court of Criminal Appeals, working for Tom as an assistant district attorney, and being a JAG. And so I threw my name in the hat with Judge Corley and asked to be considered for appointment as special judge. I've also been really good friends with Judge Duell for a long time. Mm-hmm. He was a friend and a mentor to me, and he put in a word, and I think that carried a lot of weight. And some other of my friends, Judge Colling in Payne County, he also, I think, gave me a recommendation. And so Judge Corley appointed me to the bench. That was January of 23.
Okay.
And then fast forward to about a year and a half later, Judge Corley decided to swap Judge Worthington and I. She was living in Stillwater, working in Guthrie. I was living in Guthrie, working in Stillwater. And so
then somebody was like, you know what? Why don't we just?
So we swapped.
Yeah.
And so that's how I became the special judge for Logan County. And I've been doing this since April of 24.
Okay. Two questions. What is a JAG officer?
That is a judge advocate general.
A judge advocate general.
And I was an assistant. And so it's fancy language for I was an attorney for the Air Force.
Okay. And then special judge. Like, there's different types of judges. You were a special judge. What's a special judge?
A special judge in Oklahoma is an appointed position by the district judge. So Payne and Logan County are the same judicial district.
Okay.
We have one district judge that's currently Judge Jason Reese. And
Not Jason Reese.
Not Jason Reese with a C. This is Jason Reese with an S.
Okay.
But Judge Corley was the one who appointed me, and he's now retired, and Judge Reese is now the district judge. So the district judge has the authority to appoint the special judges.
Okay.
And those two positions are created based upon the population of the district that you're in.
Gotcha.
So for our district, we have 3 special judges, 1 district judge. There are 2 specials in Payne County, 1 in Logan. Now, in Oklahoma, every county has its own associate district judge. So there's 77 counties, there are 77 associate district judges. And that's what Judge Duell was. He was Logan County's associate district judge.
Okay.
And, since his passing, that is the position that's vacant and that I'm going to run for this year.
Okay. Oh, so he had to run for that every,
4 years.
Every 4 years? Oh, okay. I didn't know that. And I guess you probably don't have to run if nobody runs against you.
Right. Well,
Right.
I the filing is in April.
Yeah.
And so we'll see what happens.
Well, I'm saying like for Judge Duell, because I don't ever remember him.
So the first time that he filed, it was a vacant seat.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there were maybe 4 or 5 people who filed that first term.
Yeah.
And he won and never drew an opponent.
Okay.
So,
yeah. I was about to say, sometimes if you're in there and you don't really have to run against anybody if nobody else runs against you. So, okay. So the question that I had was, let me make sure I JAG and then a special judge. So you explained that to me. But here's the question that I have. So now that you're a judge, can you stay casual dressed since you put on the
I put on the robe.
But I guess is there office hours or what?
Everybody wants to know, what do judges wear under that robe?
Yeah, do you get to dress casual now or what's the case?
We still wear business attire when we go to work. We wear clothes under our robe.
Not jeans and a t-shirt. Like you come in. Yeah.
Occasionally, we'll every once in a while we'll have jeans Friday, and so if I have to, but for the most part we're still in business clothes.
So wait, the judge gets to participate in Jeans Friday? You have a jeans?
We do. We wear jeans.
That is hilarious. So I love if there's a big court case, I love watching, especially the ones like when famous people are involved or whatever, and just fascinating, just watching the judge navigate all these decisions and the different the history that you got to know based on other cases, and because sometimes that's how you determine, I'm assuming just based on me watching, how do you train to be a judge? Because that's my one question. But the first quick question, can you practice law and be a judge at the same time, or do you have to quit your practice?
No. So we don't have private practice when you take the bench.
Okay.
Now, there are some exceptions because there are also city judges or municipal judges. They are still allowed to have private practice, but the state judges, so your county and appellate courts, we do not.
Okay.
And the federal judges, they do not.
Now, because there's no judge school that I'm aware of, right? How do you begin to learn? Like, it just feels like there's so much coming at you, and y'all are they're so quick with like this. I'm like, how do you do that?
It really helps to have a wide range of background and experience.
Okay. Which you had.
Which I had.
Yeah, and have.
Because I had been a restaurant manager. I'd been in the corporate world. I had been in the military. I had worked in many different areas of law. And so I think having many years of not just work experience, but life experience has really helped me transition to the bench. And, you know, I draw on that experience. You know, if we're talking about, you know, inside of a particular case and we have to start talking about, you know, what it looks like to buy or sell the real estate that's in, well, I know that because I have bought and sold real estate before. And so I understand that language, you know, and so I think to answer your question, it's just having touched so many different areas in my adult life really has helped me on the bench to just have common sense. You know, but also we have to know the law. Yeah. And so many years worth of reading and studying statutes and reading and studying case law so that I know what can and can't be done. And also having the wherewithal to know that sometimes the practitioner who is presenting a case to you has a more in-depth knowledge of a particular case. And being okay with saying something along the lines of, I'm not as familiar in that area of law. Yeah. I need you to brief that for me. And then they have to prepare the law and the cases on point and present that to me so that I can study and make an informed decision from the bench.
And then from that, you now can use that later because you can recall a brief that you may have gotten because a similar case may come. Right. Because often, like, is it a lot of times the cases are similar and
every case is different. Every single case is different.
Because you got different people, different situations. Yeah.
Every one of them.
That practitioner, were you talking about a lawyer?
A lawyer.
Okay. Gotcha. That's
because it's the practice of law.
Yeah. Practitioners. I don't know if I ever heard that. My father's an attorney.
Oh,
yeah. So I grew up around, well, I don't know if I grew up. He practiced law when I was younger, and then he went into corporate and real estate and commercial and all that stuff. So, and I remember one time they were talking to him about being a judge. He's like, I don't want to be a judge because I don't know if people know, like, judges have a salary where if you practice law, you know, the opportunity to make more is there, whatever. So he was more like, I want to chase some money.
Yes, that is the truth. That is the truth. I'm not doing this for the money. That is the truth.
That's what I think. So, like,
you've got to have a calling. You've got to have a servant's heart. You've got to have the temperament to sit in a courtroom and give people the space that they need to have their day in court and present their case and listen intently. Yeah. And it has to be a calling.
Yeah. Yeah, because and that's what I learned from my dad. It was like when he's like, not saying that he didn't care for people and things like that, but it was just
it's different.
Yeah. It's just different as far as how you go about doing it. But the immense power, the opportunity to really have an impact on people's lives, like a judge has, you know, some of the best videos is like judges seeing people and how they help make a decision, and these people come back, and it's like that stuff is really cool.
Lost on me. That is not lost on me. You've touched on a very, very important point, that the decisions that I make affect people in the most profound ways, because I have to make decisions about their children, how often they get to see their children, their money, splitting money, sometimes their liberty, going to jail. And these are very heavy decisions that affect people's lives so profoundly. Yeah. And I take it really seriously.
Well, thank you for taking it seriously. That's a lot to carry. So, all right, now we're going to go back to this either or. Okay. Thank you for going the long route with me on that. But I was just curious about these casual comfort that you love. Is that how you address it on? Okay, text message or phone call?
Oh, text message during the day, phone calls in the evening. I'm really bad at this game.
Do it help us understand? Okay, I'm a text message during the day. I'm a call person at night. Why is that? Like, if you had a quick thought on that.
Well, the day for me, it is so busy, being in the courthouse. And so, if you need me during the day, shoot me a text. I'll try to look at it and answer back. But if you really need to talk to me, call me at night. And I'll stay on the line all night. I remember when I was little watching my grandma, she had one of those little cordless handheld, phones, landline, and it sat right by her chair, and she would sit in her chair and, prop her phone over here, and she'd be, playing a little game or doing a crossword, and all night, every evening, she'd be on the phone for hours. And so, chatting it up. And so that's when I catch up with my friends and my family.
Now, I'm imagining you like on the speakerphone in the kitchen, like running the kitchen and talking to friends and if you're not in the road, baseball, football, all the things. What does a perfect day look like for you?
In the mountains, waking up, having breakfast and coffee, going on a hike with my family. There's nothing better than jumping into either a cold mountain stream or a cold pool once you've been on a hike all day. And then dinner and playing cards with my kids and going to bed.
Do you have a favorite child?
Favorite child? I had to process that for a second.
She has a favorite, y'all. She's not going to give it to you, but did you see that face? Did you see? Kenneth, make sure you go on her face, like make it really close up right there.
My favorite child is Scott Vaughan.
That is hilarious. Your face was priceless. Like, okay, Anna.
Scott, or my dogs. I have two dogs. It's my dogs.
Scott or your dogs
Scott and my
your
dogs.
Favorite. Good answer. Good
or Tyler.
answer.
Tyler. I'll pick Tyler. Tyler Wagner.
Tyler Wagner. Oh my goodness. What are some things that are important to you right now? Just in life in general.
In life, I think probably helping my children transition into adulthood. I don't know if you know this. I think you probably do. But Maddox was offered to play football at Northwestern Oklahoma State.
Oh, yeah.
And so he's going to be moving to Alva this fall to play football up there. And, Mary's got her thing going with her job. And so Scott and I are looking at, the precipice of being empty nesters and what that's going to look like. And so what's important to me is that, Scott and I need to find some hobbies. We need to, because our entire calendar for the last 20 years has been
the kids.
Raising our children. And we did that. And
Yeah.
Thank God I think we did that well. With the help of God, we did that. And so, and then of course, I'm running for election this year, and that is going to take up a lot of time. But it also is happening at a good time because my children don't need me in the way that they did before.
Yeah,
and so
true.
I can focus on this and why this is important to me. And so, yeah, I think that's what's important to me right now.
That's good. That's really good. Have you ran for office before? Like, this is your first time running. And is it different than, so I ran for state senate. Are those campaigns different for a judge than they are like for legislator?
Judges are nonpartisan races.
Yes, that's right. Yes,
and
I know
so
that.
There's no party affiliation. And so that's the biggest difference.
Yeah. Okay. But the campaigning of it,
is
go knock 100 doors, do all
thousands of doors. Yes.
all the things, raise the money, all the things.
Now, I have a committee, and that's another big difference between judicial races is that judges, we don't solicit for or ask for donations. We set up committees that do that on our behalf.
Oh, okay.
And so I've got a really great committee. My committee is Kenny Davis, Dennis Oaks, Phil Nichols, Tim Green, and
are you thinking
there's
of another
one
one?
more.
Oh.
What is wrong with my brain? Jason Herzl.
Okay.
He's my treasurer and one of my best friends.
Yeah, yes.
And so those 5 men make up my committee.
Oh, yeah, that's a great committee.
It's a great committee.
Yeah.
And, so they have to solicit those.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that's how that works. So, that's really good. That's really good. Okay, do you have an 89er spot? Like when you go to the parades, do y'all have a parade spot?
Oh, yeah. And it's the same as the homecoming. We are in front of the junior high because I love being at the front. I love seeing all of the activity going around the temple and everybody running around, getting all their floats together. And you can always hear the music and the band right there at the front.
Yeah.
And the hype at the front is just so fun.
Yeah.
And so, our spot is and will always be in front of the junior high. And then the junior high is such a beautiful building.
Yeah.
Just the setting
Yeah, no,
of
for
that.
sure. Yeah, the backdrop and it's great. Will you be in the parade this year?
I am going to be in the parade this year.
You have to be in the parade if you run.
That's right. And Dennis is on my committee, and he was in charge of the parade for 40 years.
Yeah.
And he's still a very important part of the parade.
Yeah.
And so we will be in the parade.
Yeah, you have to be in it. If you're running for office, that'd be great. Being in the parade, I love being in the parade. I don't want to be in no car. I want to try to shake everybody's hand. I want to high five everybody. I want to throw candy. I'm running out of breath, trying to keep up with everything.
That's another huge benefit to being at the front of the line because you get the best candy. They're chucking out the best candy at the front. Because if you're over at the end, they're like
done.
looking around looking for pieces, and you might get like an old gumdrop or something.
You are done. No, that's for sure. What's something that ways that you feel like people can give back to our community?
I think when you live in a community, it's important that you not only spend your time in the community, but you spend your money in your community. I mean, we've got, not just in Guthrie, but in Logan County as a whole, we've got so many small businesses in Crescent and Guthrie and Coyle and even in Marshall. And just spending your time and your money where you live is what makes us stronger. And so finding your church home, finding your favorite coffee shop, having your set of friends and having your dinners in town instead of going to the city or wherever else. That's what I think.
Yeah, no, that's good. Our grocery shop and cook dinner at home, like we grocery shop local. So thank you so much. That's really good. Before we go to this last question, who is one person that you wish you could have dinner with that dead or alive other than Jesus?
Oh, I was going to say that. I need his reassurance that I'm doing a good job.
Other than Jesus, who had somebody you will love to have? I'm always
Do
curious.
you have to add that caveat now because most people want to say
everybody
that. Everybody wants to say that.
Yes, I'm like, what? Other than Jesus, that's what I always have to say.
Oh. You know, I would probably say earlier in our interview, I was talking about my family being settlers in East Tennessee. We were there before it was even a state. And so my sixth great grandfather who served in the Revolutionary War, I would want to meet him and talk to him. And ask questions about moving into areas of the unknown and trying to build a life, because that's sort of what I did when I moved to Oklahoma.
Right.
I didn't know anybody but Scott.
Yeah.
And came out here.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you said it, because when you were talking about that's what I thought about. I was like, oh, you did that when you came to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And then even when you come to Guthrie, like.
And then built a life.
Yeah, and built a life. And that's the reason I asked, like, what does that look like? Because a lot of people struggle with that. Like, they don't want to move somewhere because they don't know, like, what does it look like for me to build a new life around? And some of it, especially if you have children, it's probably easier than when you don't have children, because you just automatically start getting connected with people through school, sports, and all the things. But also, if you work, Scott and, Justin, and connecting in those kind of ways is, so that's really good. All right, so we have the sign over here, Choose Guthrie. What does that mean to you?
Well, a lot like what we were just talking about is, being here, being present, having your meals in town, and selecting one of the coffee shops here to have your coffee, and raising your children here, and going through, school with them, and helping on parent-teacher conference to bring food. And that's on my mind because we're in the middle of parent-teacher conferences right now. And Scott always comes home and talks about what the parents brought to feed the teachers, And finding your church home. We have so many churches here, and I love the Pastor Alliance because you guys know each other, you talk to each other, and encourage everybody to find your church home because we've got a lot. You know?
So good. Thank you for saying that. Any last shout outs or any final thoughts that you want to share?
Oh, I don't know. I could list off 1 million people right now who have thrown their love and support my way in a very difficult time. Losing Judge Duell was very hard on a lot of us who work in the courthouse. And, there are a lot of people who are encouraging me to run for this election. And so I just want to do them proud, do Judge Duell proud. And at the end of the day, I truly believe the Lord's going to put me exactly where he needs me to be working. Yeah.
That's a good thing to hold on to. That kind of insurance, just you have peace regardless wherever you land, because you just know that this God's plan for you. So, well, I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
I'm excited for your journey. I loved, I lost, but I loved campaigning, getting to know people asking me questions. And it was something I never thought I'd do, but it was very fun and rewarding. And so I hope that you have that same experience while you do that. Keep sharing your story. People want to get to know people. And so I'm thankful that you were willing to sit down with me and have this conversation so we can get a little glimpse of who you are.
Thank you for having me. This has been fun.
Yeah.
I was really nervous, but this has been really fun.
No, it's not bad at all. Just having a conversation, right? Yeah. And so thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for hitting that play button for another episode of the Guthrie America podcast. And as I always love to ask, we are on a mission to tell every story. Will yours be next?